Chiefs fans, I need your help. If you're not already, you need to be following me over on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Tyler Jones Live. That is my official account where I am tweeting about your Kansas City Chiefs with news and analysis beyond just what you see on the show. So head over there, and here's what I will do, folks. For the first 10 people that follow me from today's show, I will give you a follow back on X. Does that sound like a deal? I think that sounds like a deal. At Tyler Jones Live on X. Follow me, and we'll get started with this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We have some significant news to get to on the offensive line situation here on today's show. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. And what a fascinating situation the Chiefs find themselves in with the changes that they've made this offseason on the offensive line. They started with trading off Joe Thuney. They got the franchise tag on Trey Smith, and then they followed that up with the signing of Jaylon Moore and then drafting Josh Simmons. So what will the offensive line ultimately look like when the Chiefs take the field week 1 in Brazil against the Los Angeles Chargers? Well, according to a new report from ESPN's Adam Teicher, the Chiefs have already made their decision on what they will do with the left tackle position. The plan is, if healthy, and that's a big if, Josh Simmons would be the starting left tackle for when the season begins. Here's more from Adam Teicher in an interview he did with Sports Radio 810 on Tuesday. If Josh Simmons is ready to go, he will be the Chiefs starting left tackle to begin the season. Right now, Jaylon Moore is viewed as plan B, but it's all dependent on Simmons' knee. Now, this is quite frankly how it should be. I think everyone knows that Josh Simmons is the more talented player between the two individuals. But with that said, that doesn't mean that Jaylon Moore is going anywhere, that you're all of a sudden going to trade him off or that he's going to sit on the bench. There still is definitely a place for Jaylon Moore on this team. Now, it's still a competition, even though the plan is that they would go forward with Josh Simmons if he's fully healthy. You still got to see who the best man is. Josh Simmons not only needs to be 100% healthy, but also he has to go out there and earn it. And it's not going to be handed to him. He has to prove that he is capable of winning the job. If Jaylon Moore beats him out, then he beats him out, and Jaylon Moore gets the starting job. Here is my solution that I have put out there that I think is the best case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs. The winner of this job, the better offensive lineman between the two in camp, should get to start at the left tackle spot. The loser should get to start at the left guard spot. And I think that in all likelihood, you feel pretty good that either one of these options would be better than having to turn to Kingsley or Mike Caliendo potentially to start at the left guard spot. And then it's not a complete waste of bringing both these guys in this offseason. I think that's probably your best plan of action, and you'd be in good shape with both of them. And that's all assuming that Josh Simmons is fully healthy and ready to go. Now let's ask you, who should be the starting left tackle week 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs? Should it be Josh Simmons? Should it be Jaylon Moore? Type JS for Josh Simmons. Type JM for Jaylon Moore. Weigh in our pinned comment today and let us know what you think. Kansas City Chiefs Report is bringing you daily nonstop content with our news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows each and every Tuesday, breaking news, Q-Day mailbags, and more. Keep us locked in and stay up to date with everything happening on your Kansas City Chiefs throughout the offseason, where there is no offseason here on the Chiefs Report. I want to get at least 20 subs off today's video. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. So one question that's already being asked with the news of Josh Simmons being the front runner to win the starting left tackle job, was it a waste? Was it a mistake to even pay Jaylon Moore all that money and bring him in if he's not going to be your starting left tackle? The numbers that he was able to receive, he got a pretty decent payday. 2 years, $30 million with $15 million per year in that deal. That's not cheap for a guy that only started 5 games last year for San Francisco in a backup role, taking over for Trent Williams, that has never been a full-time starter. But I believe that there is still a spot for Jaylon Moore. And if he plays at a high level at the guard spot, even if, let's say, for this case, that Josh Simmons wins the starting left tackle job, I can live with paying the amount of money of $15 million to Jaylon Moore at the left guard spot if he does a very good job. So I don't think it was a waste of money that you can make this work. Going into OTAs, this is what your offensive line depth chart is right now. As mentioned, Simmons still has to earn it, right? He's not the starting left tackle just yet, but he's on track, if all things go well, to earn that job. But you look at it, Jaylon Moore would be your starting left tackle at this very moment, with Kingsley at left guard. And then, of course, we know everything is already set with Creed Humphrey, the best center in football, Trey Smith coming back at the right guard spot, and then Jawaan Taylor at the right tackle spot. And then you also think about the future as well. This is likely Jawaan Taylor's last season in Kansas City anyway. So maybe after this year, whether it's Simmons or Moore, or maybe even Kingsley for that matter, somebody likely is going to need to step into that right guard, right tackle position down the line. Personally, I would start Jaylon Moore over Kingsley. He has a better track record. Granted, it's a small sample size of what we've seen from Kingsley at this juncture, and maybe he'll improve by having to play guard as opposed to tackle. But you look at Jaylon Moore, he's got experience at both offensive tackle and offensive guard. He's played a decent number of games, although he hasn't had that many starts. 55 career games played with 12 starts in his career for the former 2021 fifth-round pick out of Western Michigan by the San Francisco 49ers. And last year, when filling in for Trent Williams, they did not take much of a step back at all at that position when his grades across the board were just really solid. An overall grade of 74.9, a pass block grade of 73.1, a run block grade of 70.1, only gave up 1 sack and no penalties. I mean, you talk about the penalty thing, don't get me started with Jawaan Taylor there. That's a lot better from Jaylon Moore in that sense. So Jaylon Moore, there is still a place for him. I don't think it was a mistake by any stretch of the imagination. And then you also have to factor in injuries as well. What if something happens? Well, you got a quality guy in Jaylon Moore to potentially be involved as well. Now, I don't think it was a mistake. What do you think? Was it a mistake to sign Jaylon Moore? Type lifer, yes. Inferno, are you second-guessing Veach? I'm not second-guessing Veach. What are you doing? Weigh in and let us know. Be honest with me in the comment section below. Got a great deal we are offering Chiefs fans. We're talking a lot about Josh Simmons today, and we have his jersey on sale now at chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. You will get the jersey with his proper number on it. And we also have the other Chiefs rookies available at that same link, chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Maybe you want a veteran player like a Patrick Mahomes or a Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. We also have those available for you at that same link. Chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys is where you can get yours today. Men's and women's options, all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Check it out now. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys to get yours today. Now, let me make one thing abundantly clear. All right? This decision, assuming that Josh Simmons does get healthy, and that's still a big assumption, although Andy Reid has told us that he should be ready in time for training camp to be fully ready to go. This is more about, no pun intended, Josh Simmons than it is about Jaylon Moore. And the reason why I say that is, had Josh Simmons been healthy, we would have been talking about him as arguably the best offensive lineman in this entire draft. And for the Chiefs' benefit, he wasn't. That's the only reason that he fell to them at 32. I'm not buying the intel that we've seen from some of these so-called experts over the last couple of weeks that there were character concerns and all this. Like, he was part of a national championship team at Ohio State. Like, stop making excuses. We know why he fell. It was the injuries. It's not anything off the field. The Chiefs, they're not going to put up with that in Kansas City. If they didn't have any issues with it, it's not a real issue there. So, with that said, Simmons, to me, you look at what he's done. I mean, even last year, with not playing much, he still was a third-team All-Big Ten selection. started his career at San Diego State, then played the last 2 seasons at Ohio State, part of a national championship squad this past season. And his overall grade held his own, 74.4. Pass block grade was outstanding at 82.0. Run block grade is 68.7. Didn't allow a sack and only got called for 1 penalty. And you look at the scouting report, this is what the doctor ordered for Kansas City of what they could use. A loose and fluid mover, which is fantastic when it comes to that left tackle position. Excellent quickness, and you're facing some of the best pass rushers out there. I think we still all have some bad memories, even though the Chiefs won, about how Kingsley was holding up trying to take on Trey Hendrickson week 2 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Very good play strength as well, inside strike ability to punch. And early in his career, he did have some careless penalty issues, but that's something that he did improve in his final season at Ohio State with no penalties called there, as we showed you a moment ago. So I think that there's a lot to be excited about this offensive line collectively, even with moving on from Joe Thuney. I think is in much better shape right now than it was a season ago. And Patrick Mahomes with a number of options, whether we're talking Simmons or Jaylon Moore or Kingsley or whatever it may be, they're going to be feeling a lot better. Patrick Mahomes should not have to be running for his life. We are not going to see a season where he's sacked more than any other season he's been in previously. I'm not saying that everything is fixed and 100% better, but it is a huge step in the right direction for where this offensive line is going from here with the additions that they've made with their strength in numbers. Do you believe in Josh Simmons? Is he going to get the job done and be a quality left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs? Get 2 options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. I mean, folks, you don't use a first-round pick on a tackle without the idea of him being your starting left tackle. That should be the goal. It's not a bad thing at all that they have this in mind, that they want Simmons to be that guy left tackle. I think it's a good thing. I believe in him. Let me know what you think. Follow me on X for more Chiefs content. At Tyler Jones Live is where you can find me there. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.